Hello, viewers. My name is Zach Hardy, and this is my USW Wednesday Night Intensity review for the June 24th, 2015 episode of Wednesday Night Intensity. Um, the show was pretty damn good. Of course, I was on it, so I could not watch it while I was there. Um, Especially considering my part of the show was before the second hour. So once I got done with my shit, the two people I carpooled with, Anarchy and Prophecy, already finished their shit earlier in the night. So we of course left before the end. So I ended up watching it over. I was playing video games or whatever, or doing shit. I don't know. Um, and I was watching it on my computer as I was doing that. The show was alright. It was I guess it gave me a little bit of a different feel, kind of like they were really trying to build up for the next USW special, which is actually going to replace Wednesday Night Intensity on July 8th, 2015, and it is the Outcast 2015 special. It's going to be free to those viewers who watch Wednesday Night Intensity. So it's going to be treated like a pay-per-view event. The USW title will be on the line, the world title will be on the line, the blue belt title, the extreme title, the international title, the tag team titles, along with a few other matches. Some also will have a different stipulation, not just all singles matches. But those matches have been added to the card, and have not been added to the card, needless to say. But they have been. Sorry, they have been put up as some of them have been put up as official matches for Outcast, and like I said, it's going to be free to the general audience of whoever watches Wednesday Night Intensity. You're not going to have to pay. It's not going to be one of those pay-per-views. It's going to be one of those specials. And I guess its main goal, from what I take it, is their main goal is to get the people who don't usually order pay-per-views from USW to know, hey, these pay-per-views or these specials, that are like this seem pretty cool. So I kind of want to watch another pay-per-view, so I'll pay for the next one. Not to mention, give them an experience that they haven't seen. And I was actually reading on Wikipedia, and I actually did not remember this because shit has gone by since 2010, but apparently since, I believe, April 30th, 2010, there has not been a free special. And that was back in WOW days. That was before USW was even a thought. And now that I know never mind, I'm not going to bring it up. Anyway, THOUGHT. But before USW was even a thought, it was with WOW, and that was the last time in April 30th, 2010, I believe. That was when their Clash of the Titles special was on, and that was free to the general audience who watched it on their streaming website. I believe it was on YouTube at that point in time, and that's, of course, when they took all their shit down from YouTube and put it up on their USW website and streaming website and everything. But yeah, I mean, the Outcast special should be good. And I believe I will put up another video after this explaining the newly released information on 2016's pay-per-views. I'm really excited to make that video, so I will put that up after this ends or concludes. But anyway, going into Wednesday Night Intensity, it was alright. We started out with Alexander walking down to tell the crowd that he told them so. He was going to walk into Hardcore Haven and beat Dwayne Porter, keep the USW title, and stay your top guy. Kyle Reese comes down, and of course, like he has to do every week. Kyle Reese is becoming one of those authority figures, where they're used on programming often. The authority in the WWE is one thing. They're used often. Vince McMahon was before that, when he was the authority figure, and he was used often. And now we've got Kyle Reese in USW. And it's most of the time, it's usually in just the beginning segment. It's not like he's seen throughout the beginning and throughout the show, and then also at the end. But we get him at the beginning of the show, and he's usually there to either restore order or to make another match for tonight or announce something for another pay-per-view or whatever. So he comes down and tells Alexander Rotten that he has to think of an opponent for him to face tonight. since Dwayne Porter no longer has the right to a championship match with Alexander Rotten. So thankfully, they're not going to kick a dead horse or beat a dead horse when it's down just to make more money out of it or just to make more sense out of a rivalry. So Dwayne Porter and Alexander Rotten is done. Dwayne Porter got one match, and so now it's Alexander Rotten and Dwayne Porter. His feud is done. This leads to Lone Wolf walking down. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm glad for three things. Number one, they've concluded Alexander Rotten and Dwayne Porter. Number two, they've concluded Lone Wolf and Chris Ross. And it looks like number three, they've concluded Dustin Raymond and Cannon. Thank you. The three things that I really wanted, especially from what post-Hardcore Haven, from what happened at Hardcore Haven, I wanted those three rivalries, Cannon and Dustin Raymond, Lone Wolf and Chris Ross, and Dwayne Porter and Alexander Rotten to be concluded. And that's what we got. So we get Lone Wolf coming down. He tells Kyle Reese that if he's looking for someone new to beat Alexander Rotten for the USW title, then he was standing right there. So Reese announces that Alexander Rotten will defend the USW Championship against Lone Wolf in 2 weeks on the Outcast 2015 Intensity Special. So we've got already a USW Championship match for the Outcast Special, and it looks like we already had the World Title match between Western Light and Seth, of course, for the rematch clause, or the rematch, and I will get to that later in the review. But we've got Alexander Rotten and Alexander Rotten and Lone Wolf for the Outcast Special for the USW title. So it looks like we've already got a USW Championship match, a World Heavyweight Championship match, and of course, as I'm going to put out next, is the Blue Belt Championship match, which looks like it's going to happen. And I'm kind of happy because the first match on the card was Anarchy beating the Blue Belt champion Prophecy. It was a non-title match, and he hit the Chaos on Prophecy and pinned him for a clean win. It's not like anybody got involved. It's not like there's a storyline getting involved because somebody cost somebody in a match. No, it's pretty simple. And I think they're leading up to a different type of championship match setup. I think they're having Anarchy beat Prophecy in a non-title match and have him say, hey, I beat Prophecy in a non-title match, so I deserve a title shot. And I think that's something cool because USW has not done that often. And if they have done it in recent past, then that's a surprise to me, because I don't remember a time where USW did that. They couldn't really do that in 2013 because they had a pay-per-view every week or two, because that was their time where they had to build an audience. So, you have specials until you get a big audience, and then you can have a weekly show with, occasional pay-per-views. But I don't think I've ever seen this between anybody with a challenger beating the champion in a non-title match and being able to say, hey, I won, I beat you, not for a title match, so I think I deserve a title match. And I know the WWE has done that a lot, and I know TNA and Ring of Honor, and I think Ring of Honor, I don't know if they still, I know they did before they went with that top 5 contendership, and I think the same with TNA. But I know Dragon Gate, and I know Lucha Underground, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, I know they do this, where, and I think NXT as well, they beat the champions, and they think, oh, I'm in line for a title shot because I beat you. You couldn't beat me. And I've never seen this from USW, at least not to my knowledge. So, I don't know. I may be making a big fuss out of it. Maybe it's not Anarchy versus Prophecy, but it looks like that's how we're going to build it up. And throughout the night, it was a great show. It was a great show. And I think they're really trying with this Outcast special, and I think they're really thinking, all right, well, this is something we haven't done ever in USW history. Last time we did it was in WOW. So I think we need to build up to the special, not only to get people in, not to get people motivated and in on their whole idea of getting a pay-per-view or ordering their pay-per-view. I think that's really awesome. And this is one of the starts to it. So afterwards, we get Seth coming down and telling everyone that he's owed a rematch via the rematch stipulation. So he tells Western Light that he will face him for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Outcast 2015 special. Western Light sneaks behind him and hits him with the lantern and raises the world title above his head. So it's pretty much like Seth came out, challenged Western Light, and Western Light hit a cheap shot on him. And that's kind of, Western Light seems as though he's gone away from that darker role. that darker character, and he's kind of siding more towards this I don't give a fuck independent guy, and I really like that. That tells story, that tells the story of any feud that he's in, and it gives him more of an opportunity to be in long-term feuds. Now, guys like Titanfall, guys like Morbid, they have a type of gimmick where it's hard to put them against a person and make that feud believable. Western Light has branched away from that, especially considering Titanfall and Morbid have gone for that demonic, dark, kind of gothic, if you want to say, character. And Western Light has kind of, it looks like he's moving away from that and moving into an easier to book role. And I like that. And this gives a bigger chance for him to be a more dominant World Heavyweight Champion than he was back in, I think, 2013 when he last held the title. So I think this gives him a bigger opportunity to be a better World Heavyweight Champion than he was back when he first held the title. And now we have, of course, Western Light versus Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship at Outcast 2015. So that's going to be great. We get into the second match, which is Dustin Raymond's Open Challenge. And Simon Saint comes out and he beats Dustin Raymond. He hit him with a coat. He won after he hit the coat hanger. Raymond then got on the microphone and told Simon Saint that he wanted a rematch because, of course, typical heel. I lose a match cleanly. I want to avenge myself. Simon Saint gets on the microphone, and Simon Saint gives him his match at Outcast 2015. However, the stipulation is as long as the 2015 Key and Case briefcase was on the line. Raymond, of course, does not want to agree, but unwillingly agrees, and the match is made. So, Outcast, we get Dustin Raymond versus Simon Saint for the 2015 Key and Case. Brilliant. I was wondering what you're going to have Dustin Raymond do with this Key and Case. And since he's leaving in September, which I'll probably do a video on that when I get more information on that. But now we get Dustin Raymond and Simon Saint feuding for that briefcase. And so now it seems as though we're going to have Simon Saint win. Because I don't think the stipulation would be made unless Simon Saint were to win. Now, something that I want to say about that, or on that, is that what is this going to lead up to afterwards? Are they going to have another match for the briefcase? Are they not going to have another match for the briefcase? Is Dustin Raymond going to go crazy and attack somebody that he can't really take down and then put him over when he loses, or beat him when he leaves? I mean, puts him over when he leaves, or does he beat him when he leaves? How is this going to play out? So I think it's going to be more of a challenge to book Dustin Raymond's character after the Outcast special than it will be Seth's character after the Outcast special. Pretty simple as that. We had a third match, which was the #1 contenders match for the Extreme Championship. Crimson Red beat DHIG. He hit him with the spin drive. And, or not the spin, or spin dive, not spin drive. Spin dive, and got him for the pinfall win. So DHIG is no longer in the Extreme Championship picture. They're doing everything right now. I mean, first off, you have a new USW championship, new challenger for the USW championship. You have a definitely a great World Heavyweight Champion with a great challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship. You possibly get Anarchy back in the Blue Belt Championship picture, and now you get Crimson Red back in the Extreme Championship picture. Not to mention you get Simon Saint and Dustin Raymond for the 2015 Key and Case. They're doing everything right so far. And this leads up to, of course, Crimson Red versus TJ at the Outcast 2015 special for the Extreme Championship. And of course, usually, well, more than 95% of the time, the Extreme Championship is held in a non-singles championship or non-singles match environment. So we usually get like a tables match or a ladders match, and I have a feeling they're going to do something special other than a no disqualification match, which is what it's held in 80% of the time. They're going to do more than just a no disqualification match. They're going to make it like a special stipulation, like a ladder match or a tables match or fucking a Ring of Arson match. I don't know. Or a cell match. I don't care. A cage match. A fucking wooden metal match. A fucking bloody massacre match. I don't know. A bamboo cage match. I don't know. Do something special with this. That's what I want to see at the Outcast 2015 special. I want to see a special stipulation for this match, and I think they're gonna do that. and I'm hoping they're going in that direction, and they're not going to veer off into this whole stipulation of, all right, no disqualification match or singles match or something like that. They have to do something special if they want to gain the attention and the I guess the loyalty of the viewers, if they want to get them to buy their upcoming pay-per-views and show them how special the pay-per-views can be. So I think they really need to try with this. And I think that's what they should do, and I think that's what they're going to do. Anyway, we get into a promo between Indigo Reaction telling Ezra Hills and Benny Franklin, excuse me, that they want their USW Tag Team Championship match at Outcast 2015. That's very interesting to me for two reasons. One, they just put this out there out of the blue. There was no argument, no bad blood between them from months ago when they had this entire best feud out of every other feud that was going on leading up to Call of Greatness 10. It was just a great feud between these two, or between these four. Well, two teams, but four performers. And it's crazy to me how it was just a simple challenge. A simple, I'm telling you right here, right now, to your face, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be ready for that. I'll see you later. And the second reason why it stood out to me, or why it kind of surprised me, was that between the two, they didn't show any resentment. And nor did they show any bad blood. Usually you would think, oh, well, you know what? I'm pissed off at you because every single time we tried to take those tag team titles away from you, you beat us. And I want to avenge those losses. And I want to avenge the fact that this team has not been on for a shit ton of time since losing to you. So you kind of put us in the ground for a little bit until we had to finally come back up into the ranks and then challenge you again. There was no bad blood between them. It was just like you had a normal challenge like you would see in the ring in like a main event picture. Those are the two reasons why it shocked me. No resentment, no hatred towards the two, and it was just a simple thing, simple challenge without any attack or fighting or anything like that. So that was great. Then we get another promo. Cannon comes out telling everyone that he hates the knowledge that he lost to Dustin Raymond at Hardcore Haven 2015. But he knows that whatever he does in the upcoming future will be nothing short of positivity for him. Yo-Yo Joe comes down. He beats him down with a steel chain, whipping him, punching him, kicking him, doing whatever he can do until Cannon doesn't get back up to his own 2 feet. He gets on the microphone, tells Cannon that if he had the balls, testing his manlyhood, he would test that positivity against Yo-Yo Joe at the Outcast 2015 special. He exits the ring, goes back without looking behind him. Cannon is just in the middle of the ring, crouched over, holding his back, holding his gut, holding his legs, whatever he got beat down in. And Yo-Yo Joe's just walking back, doesn't look back, goes into the apron, hasn't looked back a single step. That's great storytelling, showing that Yo-Yo Joe does not give a shit who he kicks down. As long as they're down, he doesn't even need to look at them again. He doesn't even look to make sure that they're down. He just knows they're going to stay down. And Cannon, great story. He sold it well. And yes, it was, some people may say, oh, well, Cannon and Yo-Yo Joe's segment was kind of like Western Light and Seth's segment. Seth came down, excuse me, told everyone about, what happened at Hardcore Haven and how he wants a rematch or he wants to avenge whatever. And Western Light came up and attacked him. And then Cannon does everything. He says, he lost, what happened at Hardcore Haven, and he wants to avenge it. And Yo-Yo Joe beats him down. The only thing that was different in between was that this told a story. It wasn't just a quick, signature maneuver, down, hold the title up, leave. It was a beatdown with a steel chain. So I have a feeling they're going to bring some kind of steel, stipulation. Steel death match. Steel death match. We can have a steel death match versus Yo-Yo Joe and Cannon at the Outcast special. That'd be great. That'd be something that everybody would pay money for. So you could have that on a fucking pay-per-view event and then save a singles match for the Outcast event. I think that'd be great. Now, the thing that you really want to make sure that you do is that if Yo-Yo Joe is going to be dominant, then Yo-Yo Joe needs to win at Outcast. However, if Yo-Yo Joe's not going to beat Cannon down every single week, and he's not going to take advantage of beating down Cannon every single week, then Cannon has the chance to win. But if you're going to have Yo-Yo Joe attack Cannon every single week leading up to Outcast, then you need to put Yo-Yo Joe over, and Yo-Yo Joe needs to win at at the Outcast special. That's my only thing towards it. That, and if you're really going to have it like this, this whole feud, Yo-Yo Joe beats him down, and Cannon wants to beat the shit out of Yo-Yo Joe because he beat him down and tested his manlyhood, then I think you need to have a stipulation. Steel death match, wood and metal match, something to involve a chain. And I think that's where they're going because he beat him down with a steel chain. It wasn't just like he came and beat him down with a fist, or he beat him down with a steel chair, or he put him through the announce table, or he beat him with a ladder, or he beat him with a pipe, anything like that. He used a chain. And usually when you use chains, it involves either a steel death match or a metal chain hangman's match. And since that's very rare to have, and I mean, I had a match last Sunday against Majigeta in the first metal chain hangman's match since, I want to say, Tap Out 2014, which was like May 2014. So that's something you don't have very often. It's a dangerous match. So I think you're going to go with the route of steel death match if this is the case. And if it is the case, then that's great. You just need to, if this is going to be a full-time feud, you need to up the ante every so often. So I wouldn't start, excuse me, with a steel death match as much as I would start out with a no disqualification match, and then lead up to a steel death match. Maybe a no disqualification match on a singles match, and then a steel death match. But if you're going to start out with a steel death match, and you need to improve every single week, that's kind of what you have to do if you're going to start out with a special stipulation. That's my only complaint there. Before we get into the next match, of course, I came back last Wednesday. And I just kind of came back as I usually was. Excuse me. Now, of course, before this match started, I came out with a new grunge rocker gimmick. It was one of those let your hair down, dress in a t-shirt that you don't really care. I had holes in the t-shirt and everything, and I had jeans, and I had just, instead of my regular wrestling boots, I used just a pair of fucking grunge sneakers or whatever. I don't even know the brand name of it. They're still over at the Coliseum right now. But I debuted with a new grunge rocker gimmick. Of course, I debuted with a new theme song last week, and I debuted a new finishing move, which was called a Hardiac Jaw. It's pretty much a standing super kick, except shot my heel into the jaw of the opponent. And that's pretty much the whole thing of the Hardiac Jaw. So my first match back on Intensity, I beat Greyhound. It was pretty much just like a match to fill time, kind of give me an easy opponent. I guess kind of have a job to me. And then I got on the microphone. I told everyone who doesn't, I wrote this down. Zach Hardy gets on the microphone and tells anyone who doesn't like him to show themselves to him by the time Outcast 2015 is finished. That's pretty much that. So it's pretty much a warning shot out to everybody in the locker room. Excuse me. And of course, since this features me, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Fifth match. This is something you don't normally see. Gringo and Fernandez beat the USW Tag Team Champions Ezra and Kills and Benny Franklin. This confuses me now. This kind of sets up a conflict. And you're telling me now that Ezra and Kills and Benny Franklin just lost to Gringo and Fernandez. Not Indigo Reaction, but Gringo and Fernandez. Now let me tell you this. Gringo and Fernandez are a tag team again. Yes! Oh, I'm so happy about that. That is, to be quite honest, I love that. Gringo and Fernandez were doing nothing before that. And now we're back as a tag team. I don't even care if we don't have a story behind it. One apologizes to the other in the backstage area. I don't even care if we had a story in it or not. We have Gringo and Fernandez back as a tag team. All right, so we got Indigo Reaction, we got the Martin Brothers, we got Gringo and Fernandez, we got Case, and we got Ezra and Kills and Benny Franklin. This tag team division is shaping up to be better. and better and better and better and better and better. Don't ask me about the Anarchy and Simon Saint thing. That was probably just a one and done, of course, from Sunday. And now Anarchy is in the Blue Belt title picture, and Simon Saint is in the Dustin Raymond King Case picture. But we've got 3, 4, 5 tag teams. I think it's shaping up to be better than it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I'm glad. So now Indigo Reaction and Ezra Kills and Manny Franklin are feuding, but now we have Gringo and Fernandez beating the USB Tag Team Champions. So this sets up a triangle storyline between Gringo Fernandez, it'll come to me in a second, Indigo Reaction, and Ezra Kills and Manny Franklin. So, of course, afterwards, Gringo and Fernandez both hold up the USW Tag Team Championships above their head as a sign of defeating the top tag team in USW. So, if I get this straight, Gringo and Fernandez are going to face the winners of Indigo Reaction and Ezra Kills and Benny Franklin, right? Yeah, that's what I get from it. I don't know. We'll think of it later on. But, oh, next week is the final intensity before the Outcast special. So we only have, so this is great because we only have 2 weeks to build it up. That's great because then we don't have to deal with 5 weeks of build up until Ultimate Consequence. We can have a special event in between. That worked out perfectly. But anyway, we get into the next promo. Alexander Rotten is backstage complaining that putting him in a match for the USW title with just 2 weeks to prepare is bullshit. Western Light walks around the corner. Tells Alexander Rotten that he needs to stop complaining and bitching and just do his damn job, which is to wrestle whenever he is booked to wrestle and show up whenever he is booked to show up. That's kind of Western Light setting down the job, but what does this say now with Western Light and Alexander Rotten? It's like Western Light has gotten under Alexander Rotten's skin, so it's kind of like one of those typical heel, like, you tried to provoke me, and you woke up the lion, and the lion is going to eat your fucking face off. It's kind of one of those deals. And I like where this is going. I like where this is going. I like where this is going. So does this mean we're going to get a USW champion versus USW World Heavyweight Champion at Ultimate Consequence? We already have the matches booked for Outcast. So at Ultimate Consequence, which is the next actual pay-per-view for USW, does that mean we're going to get Alexander Rotten versus Western Light? If so, that'd be amazing. I mean, I would rather have it for Capital Carnage, which is the next pay-per-view after Ultimate Consequence, because Ultimate Consequence is like the 4th biggest, and then Capital Carnage is the 3rd. Bulletproof is the 2nd, and that's in November. And then Call of Greatness is the 1st or the best, and that's in April. I mean, it's something I would rather see in Call of Greatness. I don't think it would work out. I don't think it works out in Call of Greatness or Bulletproof because usually Call of Greatness has a 20-man gauntlet match on Insanity in February to build up to the winner getting a championship match at Call of Greatness, and then Bulletproof has the top rope match on the top rope pay-per-view in September, and the winner gets a championship match at Bulletproof. But I think Capital Carnage and Ultimate Consequence are the best things to do a champion versus champion match. And that has to be what they're leading up to, because there was no other reason for the World Heavyweight Champion to help the USW Champion to suck it the fuck up. I'm pumped up to see what happens after Outcast. I'm so waiting. All right. Afterwards, Kyle Reese announced that two performers have come to him looking for a match at Outcast 2015. So he puts the match between the two of them together. Ash versus James for the International Championship at Outcast 2015. However, both competitors will face one of the challengers for the World Heavyweight title and the USW Championship in the next matches. So now we've got every championship match has been set up. The USW title, Alexander Rotten and Lone Wolf. The World Heavyweight title, Seth and Western Light. The International title, Ash versus James. The Blue Belt title, hopefully, Anarchy versus Prophecy. The Extreme title, Crimson Red versus TJ, and the tag team titles, Indigo Reaction and Ezra Kills and Manny Franklin. For now, if it's not going to be Gringo Fernandez versus Ezra Kills and Manny Franklin. All right. The title matches have been set up. It seems as though we're gonna have Simon Saint versus Dustin Raymond for the Key and Case, the 2015 Key and Case briefcase. We've got Cannon and Yo-Yo Joe, which is fucking amazing. and it's amazing. So we get James. James won the title at King Case and lost it the following pay-per-view at Hardcore Haven. Why have a transitional champion if we're just going to give it back to the person he beat? I'm hoping this means James will beat Ash for the international title. Please, can we make that happen? Please, 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 please. Thank you. Anyway, we go into the seventh match. Lone Wolf beats the international champion Ash via submission. He reverses the 2 dust into an ankle lock, getting a win by making Ash tap out. So the international champion Ash loses to the #1 contender for the USW Championship, Lone Wolf. So that gives Lone Wolf some momentum against Alexander Rotten, and we'll see how that plays out next week. And then the 8th match, the main event of the evening, James beats Seth. So the #1 contender for the USW International Championship beats the #1 contender for the USW World Heavyweight Champion in Seth. So that means Lone Wolf, the face, has the momentum against the Alexander Rotten, the heel, in the USW Championship picture. And then Seth, the heel, has less momentum going into the World Heavyweight Championship match against the World Heavyweight Champion, the face, Western Light. That's great. And the ending was Western Light throwing a bottle in direction of Seth, causing him to throw it back, leaving Seth getting hit with the midway by James. James gets the pinfall win. Seth sits up, looking at Western Light in a very angry manner as the show ends there. So we get Western Light. This is one of those, exceptions I'll make when it comes to someone distracting somebody or costing someone the win in a match to set up a feud, because this involved Western Light doing something different. He threw a water bottle in at Seth. Referee didn't see it. Then Seth threw the water bottle back at Western Light, and Western Light used the World Heavyweight Championship to deflect the water bottle. So he threw it at the world title and bounced off the world title plate. And then Seth got hit with the midway, a foot to the groin, kind of like the Eat Defeat, but to the stomach. And that's pretty much something that it's built up as. It's going to break your ribs, or it's going to kind of like a stomach pump with me. It's my spine buster, but my shoulder drives into your stomach, and you get trapped between your back hitting the canvas and my shoulder hitting your stomach. So it's kind of like your stomach is crushed between my shoulder and the mat. But in this, the midway is your foot, or you grab someone's arm, put your foot to their stomach, and pull down. So they're being pulled down into your foot, and when you land, your foot can't go back any farther, so it gets pushed into the opponent's stomach, and the opponent is being pulled into it, so he can't get back. So that's supposed to be built up as it's going to break your ribs, or it's going to make you vomit or something like that. And that's what the midway is. So Western Light throws a water bottle at Seth. Seth throws it back. He gets caught with the midway, gets pinned. Seth then sits up. James has gone all the way into the back, and he's looking at Western Light, who's like, you wanted this, right? You wanted it. Fuck it. I have this title that I found in my attic. You wanted this, right? You wanted this, right? You wanted this. You wanted this. You didn't win this match, so you want this. Well, you gotta pick up your game. And that's a great way to end this show. So, for those of you who watched Intensity, or those of you who didn't but wanted to listen to me speak it over, even though if you have the membership, you can go and watch it over again. For those of you who watched it or listened to me talk about it, tell me in the comments how you felt about it. And yeah, I mean, this show was very good. It was great, excellent. So, thank you for watching. This was my review on the June 24th, 2015 episode of USW Wednesday Night Intensity. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.